Welcome back to We Care a Lot. I'm half the podcast, Mel, and this is my solo, so my other half isn't here. But hi guys, welcome. Since this is the first time I'm seeing you this year, I just want to say Happy New Year, which by the time you're watching this, it's probably well into January, probably towards the end. But hi, it's been so long. We took some time off for the holidays, and then life just kept getting really busy. And I mean, of course, I'll go through some of the other emotions of the fires and things like that, but it's been a hectic time. With that said, I guess I'm just gonna go through what's been going on. So it's now January, and we just had the holidays. Like I said, we went and traveled and saw some of Logan's family and spent the Christmas season with them. Logan got really sick towards the end of the trip, and then I got sick the following week. So it's been kind of nuts. New Year's was also really fun. We had some friends over. Sam was here. And we just kind of hung out. It was very low key. It was very fun. Logan and I over-prepared because it seemed like everyone was inviting their friends over to the gathering too. And then at the end, everyone kind of just had some emergencies come up, or I don't know. It was a very interesting first day of the year, I guess, for a lot of people. But yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when you're watching this, it's well into January. And I guess this is more, I don't know why I talked about it. I'm recording this way earlier in advance. I'm going to be honest and say that it's very much in the same week that this is coming out, that I'm recording this. Like I said, I haven't had a whole lot of time to do anything really. So right when we got back, the fires in LA started, which I'm sure everyone has heard of and is talking about. But yeah, me and Logan we've been safe. Most of the people we know everyone is safe, but most of the people that we know haven't been affected or impacted. But a few have, and it's been really tough to watch people in our communities lose it all. It's a lot less heavy on the heart at the moment, but because we have come so far since then. But it was really tough to see the people that you love, and also just the city you love, and favorite parts of the city that you love burn down. It's very interesting because New Year's Day, Logan and I and her sister, we went to our favorite Thai spot that's down on PCH, and now that's gone. And so just things like that, where we can't go to those favorite places anymore. And I think about all of the people who own these places who were impacted, and or all of the people who worked at these places who have lost jobs since then. It's really hard to imagine just having to, I don't know, I guess just start over. I'm really hopeful, and I feel it's been already really great to see the community gather up and help each other. I feel everyone always talks about LA being this superficial place where all the people care about are their appearances and don't have any heart. But I think when you really have people who go through some really traumatic things, the community really steps up. People who are from LA and or who really love LA are very proud to be in LA and will show up. And that's what I've really seen, and that's kind of the beauty of the situation that I've found, the silver lining of. Yeah, but the fires are devastating. It's still happening, and people are still impacted and going through the next phases of what this looks like. But yeah, that was a tough time. It's just, I don't know. Again, I wasn't directly impacted, so I'm not speaking or creating any like boo me. It's just like it's very difficult to watch like your whole community or communities really just get like the worst of the worst happening. Yeah. Well, anyway, and then I just feel like January has been a hard hitter. Also, sorry, I feel like my voice is like coming in and out. I don't know what's going on. But January, I feel like has just been an overall like hard hitter here. Obviously the fires and then the inauguration. I love that our podcast has always been a very like lighthearted and fun place to be. I mean, obviously we do have some topics where we talk about some very like heavy topics. But I think overall we try to keep it light and fun and inspirational and empowering and all these other, terms. But I think a part of We Care a Lot is really speaking towards the things that we care a lot about and things that are important to us. And I feel like the inauguration, first of all, really like put us in a place to, right before that, the whole TikTok situation was really scary. Just seeing like what happened and how, I don't know, like not to be conspiracy theorists, but it just really felt like somebody was trying to prove a point of how easily things can get taken away and put back into place. And the messaging when it came back on and right before it left, like, was really interesting. And I don't know, I feel very small at the moment, I guess. I feel like people, which is really scary to say, but I feel like people are almost like gearing up for like what feels like a civil war, and it's fucking scary. Maybe I'm just like on a very specific side of TikTok, but it's I feel like people are ready, they're ready for something extreme to happen, and that's like the scary part of it all. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe the way that this is starting to feel is like the next 4 years are just going to start to feel like a constant attack. The deportations are like horrific. I feel extremely lucky to have two parents who are both now citizens of this place. But it's scary. It's scary to have such hateful words being spoke about your culture and the people that you identify with and who look like you and your parents and your family. I just feel like there's so much hatred already, and it's like only been a week or so. And then also just being queer, let's just add another layer, right? So like being queer, the whole Idaho situation and just trans rights being ripped away already. It's just so hard to watch and to like do normal life, I think. Like, I don't know. I'm really grateful that I've had like a lot of distractions, but at the same time, like, I feel like last week was just like a freaking blur. Like, I just feel like I was just in a constant like depression and like anxiety of like what's to come. I have moments of a lot of hope and moments of a lot of joy that come up, but it's very I'm scared. I really am. So I'm sorry if I started this episode a little like heavy, but yeah. And then like, not to mention being a woman, in this climate, this political climate, is not fun. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel very at a loss. Like, I really don't know that I see like the way out in all this. Like, I have a lot of family who voted. Not a lot, but I do know like some of my family voted for Trump, and it just feels like I can no longer just like sit here and hear them speak back to me and say like, I love you, or like, just because I voted for him doesn't mean I'm racist, transphobic, homophobic, xenophobic. Like, that no like it's no longer applicable. Like it's like now fact that like maybe you aren't those things, but people who vote for him are those things. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get too heavy into this because I just feel like I'm trying to honestly stay afloat, but it has been very heavy on my heart every single day. So I'm just trying to remember that maybe there's a way out. I don't know. Honestly, I'm in the process of getting my citizenship for Mexico. That's my exit plan. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really fearful, and I hate to say that with such like distinctness, because I think when you speak things out loud, especially, it's like you're just like, you're really putting that on, not paper, but it feels like it. So I actually am very scared, but trying to find moments and just feeling really joyful and loud about who I am and proud. So yeah, to moving on to like a little bit of a lighter topic. Not a little, it's a lot lighter. With the new year comes new intentions, new goals, and all that kind of fun stuff. Last year I made these like cute little notebooks for our friends who were at our house for New Year's. It was a very intimate New Year's, but it has like a little picture of me last year. But it's like the whole point is like to redo these prompts every year so that you like kind of figure out, or like later on in life you can know who you were at the time. So I'm gonna redo mine from this year, and so I have 2025, and then me at 27, which I didn't get to take a photo, but I'm gonna take a photo before I turn 28 and put it in here. I just didn't have film this year, so I'm just gonna go through like my ins and outs. Okay, so my ins are sharing my creativity, meditation, movement, reading, confidence, peace, friendship, connection, and learning. And then I did like some more like specifics, which are taking baths are in for 2025. I do have a bathtub, and I feel like I don't use it enough. I feel like we need a refresh in our bathroom. Just no budget for it, but I'm trying to figure out how to like make the space feel a little more like inviting for me to take baths. But that's a goal and like an in for me for 2025. There's something just about like taking a bath that feels like so soothing to me. I know that like a lot of water signs say that. I'm not a water sign, but I feel like as an earth sign, I'm like nourishing I think about like a plant, and obviously just a human, you're like made up of a lot of water, but I think about a plant and how they like need water after being dry for so long, and I feel like that's me. Like I need to soak in water to feel better again. So taking baths is in for me. Building a self-care routine. I feel like I've spoken about this in the podcast before, but I like really want to have like a solid self-care routine. And I mean this like in so many facets, where like I want to be it doesn't have to be strict, but I want it to be like something that I incorporate every month, like where, and all of them don't have to do about like have to be about me, but it's still like self-care, like having like getting my dogs groomed, or like giving my dogs a bath on like a certain like schedule. I feel like sometimes like so many weeks go by and you're probably like, Melissa, that's so fucked up, but like I get so busy, and then like my dogs are like, poor babies are like filthy from being outside and stuff. So I feel like I want to get on a like scheduled routine of like either getting them groomed, or like maybe like every 3 months they get groomed, and I just like give them a bath every like 3 weeks or whatever, 2 weeks. I don't know what's like the appropriate time, but that, and then also just like for myself, like making sure like I'm already like on a routine with my skincare in terms of like, like we talked about this a while ago, and I'm still doing it, and I don't even know if it's like super efficient, but I feel like it is for my skin, just because like I'm having pretty good skin moments lately. But like I do like the 2 rest nights, and then I do exfoliating and then retinol and then again. So like I already have that down, but I want to have like, I don't know, like every Sunday I like make sure that I like take a bath, and then I do my everything shower, which I like shave and do like a hair mask and that kind of thing. Like I want to have something that's like more solidified in that way, so that I know that like I can always like, I'm always going to have that day to look forward to, and I'm not like skimping out on taking care of myself and like allowing like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to pass by and like not feel like I am cared for by myself. Like, of course, like my partner Logan loves me so much, and she constantly like really does really sweet things to make me feel cared for, but I feel like sometimes you just need it from yourself to feel like really fulfilled in that. And I feel like I'm really lacking in creating that kind of environment for myself, and so that's like one of my like ends and like goals. Getting back into acting. I have been a very like big movie buff in the last like 2 years. I mean, I used to be like when I was in high school, and then I got really into that again. And I feel like film like really like when I watch a really good movie, really good film, it just feeds my soul. And then I leave that film being like, I just love the work. Like I love the work that goes into creating films, whether that's on the back end of like maybe creating a script for myself, making a low budget film with my friends or something. Like I just really want to get back into the love of film. And with that said, like getting back into acting and the practice and the teachings or the learnings of acting. I don't know. I feel like I built a lot of self-confidence the last time I like went to an acting class or was like enrolled in one. So I just feel like, I don't know, I think I'm ready to go back. I'm like financially doing well or like better, and so like I can afford these classes because it's not cheap. Next is I want to pick up photography, like again in that same like vein of like showcasing my creativity. I really want to get like really technical or like learn about photography in a way that feels like I can find like my style, or like even just being able to like direct people and how to pose, or like even for myself, like just like learning more about lighting. And I don't know, I think that goes along well with like the whole film thing. But I just want to get good at photography. I feel like pictures last a really long time, and that's the one thing that like I always look to like every year, and I'm like, what was I doing? What are the things that happened? And I feel like when I was like younger, I was like, obviously everyone picked up a freaking film camera when they were like, I don't know, in their early 20s. Like they picked one up again. Obviously you probably had one in your family or whatever, but like they picked it up as like their hobby. And I mean, I did too, but I like look back at those photos and I'm like, I see what she was doing here. Like that's really cute. And I feel like that's just something that I'm like missing. Like I enjoy seeing what my like perspective was at the time. And so I think again, taking photos, maybe making a film, like I don't know, like things like that. I want to get back into photography. I want to get back into acting. And maybe I'll put those things together and make something. I don't know. I also really miss baking. I feel like every time I whip up a good cookie, I'm like, what am I doing? I can make something really fucking bomb. Also, our friends we've had really fun themed nights. So like one time this last year we did, obviously for Friendsgiving, we did Soupsgiving. So like everyone made their own soup and we all like ate soups instead of like a traditional Thanksgiving feast or whatever. And then also recently, and then like right before that or after that, we did a bake-off where like this tradition started where me and Logan and Sam would all bake together, and we still do that. Like it's like our intimate time, like as friends together. But then we like kind of expanded a little bit, and everyone had to come up with a recipe, and we all got into teams. And I just feel like that was like reinvigorating of like, you can make anything, you know? And yeah, The only problem is that like when I bake, sometimes I'm like, who's gonna eat all this shit? You know what I mean? But I'm just worried about the baking part. I'll give it away. Maybe it's my way of like connecting with people, like, hey, like I just made a bunch of cookies, can I drop them off your house? I miss you, love you, whatever, you know. Maybe that's like my next thing of like I'm baking for other people so that I'm like connecting. Then I have things I like want to do is like I've really realized that I love like hosting. I'm like getting better at like doing hosting and enjoying at the same time, because I feel like that's sometimes really difficult. I don't know if everyone like agrees, but like sometimes when you're hosting you feel like you can't enjoy the party or like the thing that you're doing as much because you're just like worried about all the elements and all of the people. I'm at a place where I'm feeling a lot more confident about doing and like both, you know, and being in both. So yeah, with that said, like I had Aquamarine night and that was so fun. It was like a movie night that was themed Aquamarine. It was so fun to get really creative and get all the elements and all that. So like something I want to do is like host more theme nights or like activity nights. And so I came up with, last year we did a clothing swap. I also want to do that again, but I want to open it up to more people and make it a more like an actual like event. Like I'm thinking like doing clothing and coffee or something, you know, and we can like do like a day thing. And then I'm thinking themed movie nights are in. I want to start them in the spring and then do through summer, because I feel like during the winter and the fall it gets a little too cold. So that'll be like my spring into summer activities to do. And I feel like it creates a nice like environment for people who don't like want to like go out, but like they want to do something fun and be with people. Like we don't have to like sit and watch the whole movie. I mean, I think that's like ideal, but like it's a good time to like socialize and just be with people. I don't know. And also I'm excited about bringing back movies that like give people like childish like child memories or like things like that, just connecting to like a different parts of ourselves. Like they don't have to be like the latest movie. Like I feel like everyone, including myself, we're all like really into being like AMC Stubs members and like watching every movie that comes out and like, have you seen this movie? Like, are you like, you know? And I feel like that's really fun and we can kiki about that all day long. But I also really enjoy like, why don't we all just watch Aquamarine? Why don't we all just watch High School Musical? Yeah, anyway. And then lastly, I want to host craft nights. So I think we also did this a little bit last year. Can't remember what we did, but just like I feel like it would be really fun to just like have maybe like a quarterly thing where like, you know, we all come together and bring supplies for like a certain activity. Like I feel like also something that has really like decompressed my stress for hosting, because although I feel like it's also really fun to supply everything and everything for everyone, I think it's really nice to just be like, hey, I'm taking hosting. I will be providing X, Y, and Z. I was thinking all of you can like share, like we could all like share responsibility on bringing X, Y, and Z, you know, and it brings down like the levels of intensity by a lot. And then it feels more like a shared experience. Like it's still really fun. And I still will have like those like nights where I want to plan every detail, but I think it's also really fun to just have people to come together and you just provide this space and you tell everybody like, hey, we're all going to be busy this night. Okay. At least like that's how my friend group works. Like we're all very happy to pitch in for whatever needs to be done, but a lot of us have a hard time like committing like into solid plans unless you tell them like, hey, this day it's going to happen this, put it on your calendar. So that's how I feel about that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm really leaning in towards just like providing joy for everybody and connecting. I also really want to do a queer book club. I am in a book club currently and the girls are very lovely and I think it's a very beautiful experience, and that really inspired me to then move like some of those elements into a queer book club, because I feel like I sometimes feel like I need more queer friends. I just feel like I need more people who understand me on those levels. And also it's just like fun. I don't know, like I'm sure the girls, you know, are always going to be open to reading a queer book. But I feel like, are you getting excited as much as I do? Probably not. I don't know. So I don't know. I feel like that stemmed from me reading Milk Fed. And I was like, a bunch of us gay girls need to come and fucking do this, you know? Just queers. I need y'all queers over here. But yeah, I want to do a queer book club is one of the bigger ticket items I also want to do. And then Logan and I are also inspired by the fact that, you know, this whole like LGBTQ being attacked constantly lately, creating like a safe space where people can come just enjoy each other's company, learn about each other and share resources, but also just like have a light place where like all of us can just enjoy each other's time and company, because sometimes that is the best place to decompress, is around other people who can, you know, not even just like empathize, but like share the struggle. I don't know. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Y'all can come. But yeah, I think that's it. Like I said, I'm just like leaning into joy and finding joy and providing joyous moments and memories, and yeah, that's what I really want this year. Have some travel plans, but I don't know what else is to come. I'm really open and available to like all of the blessings that this year is going to bring. I'm hopeful, although scared, but I'm hopeful that things don't get progressively worse. Well, guys, thank you for listening, and I really appreciate you being here. Sam and I are super excited to grow this podcast and have more friends and family join in on a conversation. Yeah, I really love the space that we've created with one another, and I just want to continue that. So please, you know, follow us on our socials. Make sure you interact with wherever you're watching. If you haven't left us a review or a rating, please go ahead and do that, because it helps us so much. And yeah, share this podcast with somebody. Let's all become a little community. Well, anyway, love y'all. Bye. Why did I do that? Bye.